Welcome back to 6 Minutes of Movie Tales. In the previous part, we witnessed the collapse of the Yang Phuc clan as the omens of the faceless ghost child and the soul cat began to strip away the mansion's peace. We left Tien Kim and Vinh Trong in their desperate journey to save their son from demonic possession. But there is an old saying, to find the devil, first look at the crimes of the living. Today, the mastermind's mask will finally fall. As Tien Kim and Vinh Trong rushed back to the mansion with Master Cuong's notebook in hand, they were met only with a deathly silence. Gia Cuong, or rather, the entity inhabiting his body had vanished without a trace. In a frantic search amidst the thick fog blanketing the family cemetery, Tien Kim spotted a figure gliding between the graves. And there, under the pale moonlight, she saw what she had long feared, a pair of hands with pitch-black claws. But the owner of that demonic mark was no stranger. It was Phuong, the devoted maid who had been at Lady Bitch's side all along. Before they could even react, Phuong lured Tien Kim and Vinh Trong deep into the heart of the graveyard, straight into a deadly trap. With cold, calculated movements, she bound them both. Not stopping there, she captured Lady Bitch as well, forcing the three most powerful members of the Yang Phuc clan to kneel before the one they once considered a mere servant. Under the full moon, the horrific truth was revealed. Phuong was actually the eldest daughter-in-law, the legal wife of Vinh Tai, and the sister-in-law of Vinh Trong. The story flashes back 7 years. Driven by greed and superstition, Lady Bitch followed the advice of Sorcerer's son, who claimed the family could only have one grandson. She forced Tien Kim to have an abortion to protect the status of Li's son. But Tien Kim was no victim. To protect her own child and seize control of the family, Tien Kim conspired with Noyet the maid and Steward Tai to murder Li's newborn infant and push Lu down the stairs to her death. They reported it as an accident and buried Lu. Vinh Tai, driven mad by grief, left all power to the couple, Tien Kim and Vinh Trong. But Lu was reborn. Because of her past compassion in helping Cham workers who were dying of disease at the mansion, Lu had been gifted a sacred wooden talisman by the shaman. That talisman preserved her soul, and it was the shaman who used the ancient Patao Sorcery to bring her back to life. Consumed by absolute hatred, Lu crawled from her cold grave and sought the shaman on the high mountains with a single goal: revenge. To deceive her enemies, the shaman used ancient illusion magic to permanently alter Li's face into a completely different person, Phuong. From then on, she hid within her enemy's very breath, waiting for 7 years to execute her plan to annihilate the Yang Phuc lineage. Phuong's revenge was not mere slaughter. It was spiritual torment. Under the shaman's guidance, she mastered the most terrifying great dark arts. A soul-binding ritual. Phuong refined the soul cat, using her own hatred and blood to trap a soul within a black cat, turning it into a monster with the soul cat's dark aura to harm others. A paper effigy magic. The shaman passed down the art of controlling paper figures so Phuong could guide the faceless ghost child freely through the mansion without being detected. Spirit-seizing art. This is the cruelest detail. To keep her lost son, Gia Cuong, Phuong used this art to imprison his soul, refusing him salvation and forcing him to become the faceless ghost child. A murderous tool fueled by resentment. Darkness had completely enveloped the cemetery. Here, Lady Bitch, Vinh Trong, and Tien Kim were bound. While Gia Cuong's hands were tied with red strings, the soul-guiding threads connected directly to Gia Cuong's cold urn. Phuong, or Lu, began the soul reclamation ritual. Her goal was not just revenge, but a brutal blood sacrifice, using the blood and souls of the family's elite to resurrect her son. She wanted Gia Cuong's ghost spirit to fully possess Gia Cuong's body. To bring one person back from the dead, the price was the total destruction of a family. But wait, because the rot of the Yang Phuc family began long before Lu appeared. In truth, this family had a pact with the devil through Sorcerer's son. He used the single dragon tree ritual, a cruel sorcery requiring each generation to sacrifice at least one male life in exchange for wealth and prosperity. By the time of Lady Bitch's children, the pact was broken. To save the situation, Sorcerer's son used 9 springs borrowing magic, stealing the blessings of future generations to use in advance. He calculated that keeping one grandson like Gia Cuong alive would suffice. But as debts piled up and the balance of yin and yang shattered, Gia Cuong was born as an inevitable sacrifice. The workers who were exploited to death years ago were actually just human carcasses providing fresh blood to maintain this demonic pact. The most mysterious figure is the shaman. He was once the chieftain of a Cham village with supreme magical powers, but to save his people from disease, he came down the mountain to work for the Yang Phuc family. When Tien Kim wanted to let the workers die as sacrifices, Lu saved them. In gratitude, the shaman gave her the wooden talisman with Patao magic. You must know that Patao is a magic that borrows time from the hands of death. When the shaman helped Lu return to life, he knew his own life then belonged to the devil. Before he died, he passed on all the forbidden techniques: paper effigy magic, spirit seizing, and soul binding, so Lu could have the power of revenge. The shaman's help was a brutal sacrifice, using his own death to kindle the fire of hatred in Li's heart. Few know that for Phuong to control an army of spirits, the shaman sacrificed his own life to craft black incense. This is no ordinary ritual incense. It is a cruel combination of a boundless malice and human hair, collected from the Cham workers who died in agony at the mansion. A blood sacrifice. The shaman used blood from his own heart as a catalyst to summon the Preta, hungry ghosts, from the sacred forests to infiltrate the Yang Phuc clan for revenge. Wherever the smoke of black incense goes, hungry ghosts follow. They seeped into every brick, every meal, turning the luxurious mansion into a living hell where the guilty were hunted without escape. The soul cat in this story is not just a ghost cat. It is a vessel entity with terrifying power. At the Yin Yang Gate, the moment the soul cat jumps over a corpse, an extreme negative electrical charge is released, breaking the laws of life and death and flinging open the gate between the two worlds. This is why the dead can rise as much walking corpses instantly, summoning 1,000 red-eyed rats. The soul cat is the sovereign of rodents. With a piercing screech, it can call forth thousands of red-eyed rats, the embodiment of plague and rot, to gnaw away at the bodies and souls of enemies, like the death of Noyet the Maid. A command power. The soul cat is the general commanding the army of hungry ghosts. It orders them whom to torment, whose blood to drain, and when to deliver the final blow. Back at the cemetery, Lady Bitch paid the price with a painful death, her soul consumed by the soul cat. In the struggle, Tien Kim suddenly remembered a secret from Master Cuong's book. The only way to stop this was to shatter Gia Cuong's urn. In absolute despair, Tien Kim smashed the urn, severing the soul's connection. Lu completely lost her mind. She tore the black cat apart, letting the demon blood soak her body, accepting the soul cat's total possession of her soul in exchange for ultimate power. To save her husband, Tien Kim embraced Lu tightly, and both fell into the raging inferno. The fire consumed the hatred and the sinners alike. After the tragedy, the once glorious family was left with only a tattered shack. Everything borrowed from the devil had been reclaimed in full. Gia Cuong seemed to return to normal, but the ending gives us goosebumps. The boy stood there, shaking hands with a pitch-black shadow, while another soul cat lurked behind him. Blood debt must be paid with the soul. The soul cat is actually just a subordinate of the dealmaker demon. This entire story is merely a chess game played by the devil, exploiting human greed and hatred. As long as humans harbor malice, the dealmaker demon will exist to take their souls. Gia Cuong will grow up, but is the shadow following him his brother Gia Cuong, or an evil entity waiting for the day of total possession? As the ashes of the mansion settle, we are left with two bitter truths. Never borrow from the darkness, for the price is always what you cherish most. Demons are not born in hell. They are born from the bottomless greed of humans. The end of LINH MIEU is not peace, but a new beginning for the darkness. Who do you think was the black shadow shaking hands with Gia Cuong? Was it poor Gia Cuong, or the dealmaker demon marking his next pawn? And did Tien Kim truly die in the fire, or has she inadvertently become a new sacrifice, continuing this 1,000-year blood debt cycle? Leave your comments below. Like and subscribe to join me in decoding the next breathtaking horror movies on 6 Minutes of Movie Tales. Goodbye, and be careful. You never know if the soul cat with its green eyes is staring at you from the shadows, right? Now,